I want the group for each one of us to feel the vibration, which means the energy, the intent, to achieve communion with God, and to be one with God. And becoming one with God means becoming totally a smiling heart. So one of the ways to achieve happiness, which we are all looking for, is to be one with God. And it is a classical approach. But we can never be one with God because till that time we are stating theoretically, I want to be one with God, means I'm seeing someone, myself, as different from the source. Till the ray of light, which each one of us is declaring, I want to be one with the sun, and I want to be happy in that. Otherwise, if let's say God is not happiness, then why would we even be caring about that? We are programmed to look for happiness everywhere. We are programmed to be eating sweet things and just doing the things that we like. Doing things that we do not like leads us down to feeling sad, and a sadness which manifests for a long time based on a thought. I wanted this and this didn't happen, so I'm going to be sad and this is unfair. That leads to depression. In reality, depression is a concrete disease which can have three reasons. It can also be medical. There are some diseases which, when being treated, have a side effect. The medication has a side effect of inducing depression. So there are that, but even if it is medicated or the reason of the depression is medical, even then the first serious disease for which it was called will be having the same three reasons. The first type of depression is based on our body identification. Oh, I'm this body will die. There's something happened with this body that I don't like. I have a judgment about this. I see that as being bad. And because there is pain associated with the body or with whatever happened to my personality linked to this body, so there is pain, so there is sadness. If there is sadness, then of course, then God is happiness in my view. And if it's not happiness, then means that there is no God. And without the concept of God, everyone will be depressed. That is a guarantee. Even with the concept of God, there is a chance, and there are stages in life which we will go through where we will be depressed, even with the concept of God. I can only speak from, I have read a lot of the people who were depressed and who were always doing the right thing, including Mother Teresa, including Saint Francis. So everyone is going to be having a depression, and the depression is born out of three factors. It can be born out of a judgment that something happened with your body or with the story of your life. Something happened there and then, and that was your judgment. No, if this has happened, if children have to die on this planet, then I'm going to feel sad about it. And you can end up with the depression because you don't accept that there is a big picture, and the big picture is God is another name for order in the universe. So if we don't see an order, then the universe is totally mad. The universe is totally, if you will think of it without a concept of God to unify it, then the whole of the universe is just coincidental, random, and without love. Hot gases came together, there was a big blast. Where did it come from? No one cares. And then time started, and randomly this happened good and that happened bad. And randomly you are in a human body, and you just have some time on this planet, and you will die. So you have very, very limited time, and your main priority becomes to enjoy life in whichever way you want. So when we do not have a concept of God, that unifying subtle force, that order that organizes all the lives that we have had, that shows us that every act, good or bad, has got a consequence to it. So when we see this consequence directly in our life, someone is driving drunk and he immediately ends up in an accident, then they're in the heart even that, oh, that guy deserved it. But it's a judgment, and that's okay. But if someone is acting like drunk and wins the Grand Prix and is recognized as the best driver, or someone is like acting very irrationally, is bad in your terms, and he wins a lottery, and you start thinking, well, if there was a God, then he or she wouldn't be winning a lottery. Because that. But we do not recognize that God means extension of time over an infinity. So this life you're having a good time, you win a lottery, but you are behaving really irresponsibility and you're hurting people, but still you made money because in the past life you did something that either got you this money, or it may even be that you have been punished with money, and God is you're being told by the universe, have this money and lose your relationships. Have this money so that every time that someone comes to you, you will have a feeling, oh, I wanted to be loved for myself, but this person is attracted to me only because of this money that I have. And that's then that one thought, that this person with me is because not of who I am, but because of that attribute that I have, that car that I have, that house that I have, that job that I have. 110%, then the person has got no respect for himself or herself, because that person is not able to attract the partner based on who he or she feels herself or himself to be, but based on some silly attribute, which is a toy. So then also depression can start. So your relationship, even though you might be having, will not be fulfilled. You won't be feeling happy in that. You are feeling that, oh, that person is not with me. And everyone wants to be accepted as they are. Everyone wants to be, look at me, I'm such a beautiful person. Please, please, please accept me as I am. Most of even the romantic movies or etc. have got that cliche in them. Oh, I'm going to accept you as you are with all your faults and this, etc. And it's not that, okay, I will manipulate it to you. So many bad women get married to uh, people with, let's say, difficult character because they think I will be the one who will change him or her, and doesn't really work. Doesn't really work. Okay. So This person has been just told that the person has got a form of cancer, so I'm immediately responding. Om Namah Shivaya. And the person is very young person. So there are three forms of depressions. Part one, born out of identifying with this body and with whatever is happened to this body, being reflected in your judgment as good or bad, leading to a manifesting of some disease, etc. And depression is also a disease. The second factor can be that it is natural. There are hormonal, there are medical induced, but there are also hormonal depressions, etc. So the first one, medical, can be out of some diseases there which is born out of a first some depression. I have to explain, rewind it slightly. So depression is sadness. Sadness is a part of life. There can be three reasons for this sadness. You have you think you take something very seriously, this marriage, this divorce, this loss, this gain, and that leads to a stress inside us. And that stress, from a thought, it becomes an energy. Energy drops to your heart. You see something, it's a thought. Then you imbibe it with some sort of a judgment, plus minus. It gets an energy, it gets a life. This thought that you had that had appeared on the head, just because the mind functions with thoughts. Your eyes fell on something, this picture is formed, you imbue it with a good or bad judgment, it drops to your heart, and you want more of it or you want less of it. If you get it, which is very rare, then it becomes that your heart has got the emotion of joy. If you don't get it, it has the emotion of sadness. Sadness takes you down, literally drags you down. And in your liver, you can have this anger. Why is it that others have, I don't have it, etc. And when that anger is there at others, it becomes a manifestation in your kidneys. And your kidneys have all these fears. Oh, I don't want this. Anything that you become angry at will later on become fear. So desires, unfulfilled desires in the heart, leading to anger. Why is it that I don't have it? That anger sooner or later becomes fears in the kidneys. If you have anger at others, then that anger can be reflected back, and you start getting fearful. It's chain reaction of your own thinking. So the root cause is having judgments. Just do not judge. Like everything that is happening, there are things that you cannot change except with love. That's all. With love and laughter, everything. Of course, if someone is dying, you're not laughing. You have sympathy and empathy. But if you think about your own death, this is a class of advance. You have to be able to laugh. If you think about your own loss, and the biggest loss is the loss of your body, you do not go into a depression, but you laugh at the thought of your physical death. Because spirituality means that you believe in the hidden non-randomness of the universe, aka God's hand. And in this life, you can see something. Oh, this child happened, the COVID happened, that. But in the longest, because God is infinity, in some previous life, there is going to be some answer to something which is happening in this life, good or bad. It may not play out immediately, as I said, that there's a drunk driver and you see that the drunk driver causes an accident to himself, and you feel, oh, that guy was drunk, so he was like that. But life is such that this drunkenness will lead to an accident, but it may be in the next life. In this life, it would come out that some previous karma or some previous act that he had done is saving himself, and then, but all the acts have got consequences. Most people do not believe in the spirit or spirituality So they do not believe in reincarnation. Since they don't believe in reincarnation, then everything is like a biological animal. Right now, here and for me. So people are trapped in this very, very materialistic and super focus on themselves. And when we see ourselves as this alone, because you don't believe in a God, you only see yourself as this biological thing with desires, sex, food, and some of them egoistical, respect, love, then you are looking for higher things in the wrong place. You're functioning as a body. But I know of so many people who have ample amount of sex at a body level, but they want love. They're even willing to pay for love. It's called having the girlfriend experience, as if the other person is really attracted to, and you have to pay much more for that. It's I saw some serial, and the prices out there are exorbitant. But there are people who have had a focus on money. If the people who on the Wall Street, etc., who wake up every day and I want to be making more money, and they do make more money. They're conditioning the universe, etc., and they're working very strongly. Even like I've seen someone 100 hours to make money, and they do make money. But what were they looking for? It's a special sort of depression which they think they will nullify with finding money or making money, and it doesn't happen like that. With money you can buy toys, you can even buy relationships, but you cannot have a relationship. Two different things. So depression starts off by thinking that you are this limited body with this limited life, and there's no such thing as God. That's 100% depression. It's based on materialism. It's based on your attitude. It's based on your framework of belief. The other depression, you can have medically induced, you can have diseases based on your thinking that the world is material, and then those serious diseases get treated by medicines which have a lot of depression as a side effect. It can be like that, it can be directly also. The second type of depression is born out of your your lack of faith, which is the same as the first one. But suddenly you feel that you're isolated, you're desolate. It can be hormonal, it can be some expectation not met, and suddenly you have stopped believing in God. And there are lots of cases like that. People's life are they believe in a God and something happens and no, the God cannot be so stupid. So you drop that also. And once you are disconnected, once you don't believe in the order, the hidden order that the universe is controlled by, that is God. Once you don't believe, then you are in a constant frame of stress because every day you are living on this planet without a belief in real love. Because God is the true love. When you like someone, you see the same godliness inside you as the other person. You don't see the other person just, oh, I'm a bag of chemicals and blood, and out of every hole, something seeps out, some chemical or some biological fluid that I really don't like. No person on the planet likes, not even tears and all the other things that seep out of the body. So the other person is also just a bag similar to, do you really love that bag? No. You see God's divine light. I'm not talking about lust, I'm talking about love. You see God's divine light and you see the other person, that beneath that bag, in the center of that bag of blood and organs, you don't love those organs, etc. Go to a cemetery, you don't love those organs, even if they belong to your beloved. So you love God's light. And sometimes people discover that light in the other person first, and then that light gets activated in us. And sometimes it's the other way around. So there are medications, etc. So these I would consider are like artificially induced. Then there are natural causes for for your depression, which can be something happens and your mind, your psyche is not able to take it. And there's a third reason for meditation depression, for depression, for which meditation can help. Taking depression as a gift of God. Because if there was no depression, do you really think that you would be in a meditation group? If your life was so la 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 la, then you wouldn't have the sadness that is a prerequisite to have what is known as vairagya. Vairagya means a disattachment. Seeing, "Oof, this does not give me happiness anymore." It's like you're growing up when you were a kid, you would have, let's say, fought over for some candies, some candies that you liked in this, or for any toy. And when you grow up, you see, oh, how could I ever have been fighting or being passionate about these toys, or getting a 5 in the class, etc., when you were in the second, third, fourth, whatever. So you become dispassionate because you see that the joy that you were seeking was not in this toy. The biggest joy, what most of the people think of the biggest joy, sex. But if without respect you have a relationship, it's as God as not having. So your disattachment, disenchantment with the material world that does not satisfy the internal fire in you, that leads to a special sort of depression. And that's your gift from God. Because if you don't have it, if you're too satisfied with the material world, then there's something wrong with you. There's so many things which are going wrong. So without the gift of depression, you cannot evolve spiritually. And I do not know where exactly sadness ends up and depression starts up, etc. I have meditated with people who were deeply depressed and who had taken antidepressants. And when I saw them as some gray energy, and they were just incapable of smiling from the heart. And therefore from the face also, no smiles, zero smiles, not even 4 smiles. So there is that depression is also based on that's a coping mechanism that our society has selected, and it doesn't really work. The only way to work with depression is to take it as a gift and then give, give, give whatever you can to the universe so much unconditionally that it hurts. And the pain of the hurt, 100%, will cure you of your depression, because the real root cause of depression is we are on this planet and we see that we are taking more than we are giving. We are expecting more than we have, so we don't have what is known as santushti. We do not have satisfaction. We want more. And when we say we want more, if that want makes us become better people, better professional, that's good. But if it is just that is I want more, then there is no end to it. If it's something I want more money, everyone is saying, millionaires are saying, billionaires are saying, trillionaires will be saying I want more money. because it's an addiction to look for happiness. The spiritual people know that being in alignment with God. God is such an outdated word. Most people have got issues with our parents, the source of our life. And when the word God is used, they just become shaky because it reminds them of this father figure, etc. And they say, no, no father figure, and this and that, etc. But God is not mother, father, it's everything and everyone in your life and in all lives. Think of the whole universe as the painting of Rubens, let's say. But in the painting, the whole universe, you, me, everyone, is just a figure in the whole drama of the universe. But in the painting, the signature of God is this energy that we feel inside ourselves, and that signature of the God, that creator, is inside everything and everyone. And there cannot be a painting if you draw a white on a white. So they're different gamma, including black and white and the most fearsome black and the whole really pristine white, and all contrasts are there. Otherwise, the universe won't be such a lively and enchanting place it is. But in reality, there's just one color, the color of love. But when we don't see love in our life or etc., there's only one color. That color is of love. But when we see through the physical eyes, we see something and that disturbs us, and then our heart closes, and then we stop seeing the color of the love. The heart sees the color of the love. But when our eyes just see something that we don't like, just because we don't see the full picture, we see a child is dying and we get angry. Why is God? And in reality, even children are dying all the time. But there's something inside us, some personal fear has been clicked on. When this child died, it invokes our own fear of death in us, and we become close. How can God allow this, etc.? Or how can God allow the camps and all that? And we find that I would say, we take that as the reason. But the cause is something else. Cause is that deep inside ourselves, we expect God just to be giving us a good time, whatever our concept. But as I said, the whole picture of the universe is a huge, beautiful picture with all contrasts, black, white, all the colors in between. And if you would say, we just want a white picture, then there's going to be no contrast, there's not going to be nothing. It's going to be barren. So in the universe, that infinity of universes, infinity of colors, but in reality, there is one force only, and only one color, the color of love. But we don't see that color of love because our eyes saw something, and then we come up with this. Oh, this has happened, so there is no in God's house there is no justice, and this etc. As a God is. But life after life, if we take a see, 410%, whatever is happening in your life will have a cause based on your own behavior in some other body. In some past life, you did something, and it's like this whole place is that picture, and but it's of a restaurant, and when you come, you pay for something, you eat something, and then you have to pay for it. But sometimes the bill may be coming in the next life. So we think, oh, this person did so many bad things, but he had a good life because he made money, and we think that, oh, he had money, so he got lucky. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's more important, what did the person do with the money? So you have to think in terms of infinities. that you and I are infinite. And that's how you start to let go of the depression. Because depression is born out of a judgment of things. I'm only in this body, this is my name, this is my life, and my body has got an expiry date, and when it will finish off, then this whole random thing will finish, and that is, there is no such thing as infinity of love, etc. These are just talks, and you don't believe in your spirit, so you're just believing in your body, and of course the body is what, nine holes in a blood, in a blood sac, basically, with different organs that no one likes. If you would, if someone would say I really love you, and you show to them what comes out of your body, will they really love you? No, I don't think so. So we love the heart energy from God inside ourselves, and when we start thinking of ourselves as this tiny puny human thing, then we get tired also. Someone had said today, I get tired of giving. Yes, because you're giving from yourself and condition. But when you are part, when you feel this energy inside you, not the energy from the hands, that's very limited. But you feel that your awareness is an energy, you expand that energy so that you love everything and everyone. And when you accept everything and everyone as just a different color of the same force of love, including the black as black and the white as white. You see them as equanimity, with equal joy. Oh, this also is created by the same creator. This also is created. And then you don't have any judgment because you don't know everything. You're just a unique human being in this. But when you open your conscious, then you start seeing the big picture of infinite lives and everything having a reason. And the reason is us only. So then your judgment that this was what happened was good and bad, you start to see the cycle that this good is resulting in something bad. This bad is actually a payoff for something that had happened. And the Jewish even have a saying that they say, oh, there was this money loss. So, okay, whatever the payment we had to make, it was just taken away in money. It wasn't physical. And if there's a physical, at least it's not an emotional loss. And even if it's emotional loss, maintain the balance of your outlook on this planet, that you are a spiritual force of infinity with the ability to see love in everything and everyone. The people who become money minded, their heart closes up because they always see themselves as having less. They're focused on the toys of the world. So they become materialistic. The more materialistic you are, the more you function as a body. Then you are into this world for the things that you see, etc. Spirituality means that you see from the heart. And if you are using these biological eyes and then processing everything that you see in contrast of good and bad and trying to understand, and then no, God couldn't be so stupid. Why did he give money to these people and not to me? Or why did he give love to these people and not to me? Then it won't be able, you will end up with a depression. So depressions are medical induced or artificial, and they can be based on the fact that you think of yourself as a puny being, as just a human biologically entity with two eyes and some organs that need to be satisfied with. And then in your world, the whole universe is a random place without real love, because God is love. You have lust, then, pure lust, which also you can, if you can do with it, that's okay. So that's the first. The second one is that you feel a disconnect because something happened that shook you up. But we came to this planet to be shaken up, just so that you know. And the third is the real good, that you use the energy of the depression. You see this sadness manifesting, you see it as depression, and that depression is really essential for you to become spiritual. Because if you will be like a child, happy with the toys, you're not going to become spiritual. So spirituality does need a depression, a holy depression that makes you sort of disenchanted. Okay, so I was so much wanting this cake, but it's just sugar coated in something. And after, there's also the law of lessening of return. The first bite was good, and the second and the third. So to go over depression, you can have medications and you can have other things, etc. But all techniques are based on the fact that you want to be one with God. Because God is happiness. So when you feel your alignment with God, then automatically you start to become happy. You start to enjoy, but the way out of it is that you start to enjoy the plus and the minus with equality. So something happens that is bringing you a lot of happiness. You want something. You are equanimous. I'll explain. Someone asked me, oh, it was Friday and people were freaking out in the office and I was sort of going around, okay, it's a Friday. Because, and you can notice it when COVID finishes, that the people who are shouting with joy, Friday, 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 those are the people with the biggest hangovers on Monday, Monday, Monday. So when you are seeing everything with an eye of equanimous love, something happens. You know that from the good comes bad, from the bad comes good. You are getting access to this infinity life cycles. So something happens which you think is good. Be equanimous. And then when something bad happens, that power to be equanimous when something you think was, oh, I should be dancing, will help you go over. So your outlook has to be changing. Something happened that's, oh, really, oh, I'm getting married and this and that, etc. Be cool about it. Like enjoy it, but be still a tad cool about it. Don't be so much over, because you never know. You wanted this marriage to happen, and then you do not know that all marriages and everything is a constant 24/7 responsibility of making the other person happy. You make it a tired at that. So depression is a deep topic, but its first core, except for the medical and this, etc., is being you don't have a framework of belief in God. When you believe in love and you see that God is love, then your heart is open. When your heart is open, then only you see the framework that the whole universe is drawn by one color of love, reflected as different contrasts, ranging from whitest pristine white to the darkest black. But it's all from the same creator. Think of it like this, that you close your eyes and you imagine a world. Now, in this world, everything is created by you. Everything is equally created by you, whether it is considered to be live or not live. And all the people in your imagination, they are powered by the same entity, and in fact, they are the same entity. They are all powered by your imagination. And that's exactly the way the universe is running. Everything alive and non-alive is equally powered. The stones, the birds, the animals, the water, the universe, everything is powered and created by one energy. And you and me are just different bodies through which this creative consciousness of I am is flowing. But as long as we think that I am means my body and my life and my name and my relationships and whatever happened, you are going to be in the realm of the material world running after money, because without thinking of yourself as a biological entity, you're going to be puny. When you align yourself, oh, my consciousness is of infinite love. Just with any prayer, Om Namah Shivaya, your consciousness opens, your heart opens. Om Namah Shivaya, Ameen, Allah. The heart and the head reflect each other. The heart opens and you see yourself in everything and everyone, or even sharing the same consciousness at a root level. It's as if from your heart, different billions of branches are going out, and these branches are connected and empowering you as well as empowering others, so that you are connected as one presence on this planet. Not even existence, but presence on this planet. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And on this planet, there are millions and billions of people who are doing heroic acts, but we don't even, our minds in this today's world is just focused on, when we start to talk about God, we just think, oh, if God was there, then why is COVID? Why was Hitler? Why was Napoleon there? Why was this happening? Why did my husband was so bad? Why is my wife like this? Why are the kids like this? All those things. But there's so much amount of beauty on this planet. And people are heroic. You can open your eyes and see the family behind me. I usually have pictures of gods. Today I put up 4 human beings behind me because they are so empowering. This is an Indian family running some 7-Eleven type place in Ohio. And the lady, she was always playing lottery and she threw away her lottery. And this kid found it. He found it and scratched it over and found, oh, it's a $1 million. And he became very happy. And as a kid, he just wanted to buy a Tesla with it. And then the family had a meeting and they talked with their grandparents in India. The kid talked to, and his grandmother said, no, this is someone else's money. Give it back. It's $1 million. Out here, it's a lot of money. In India, it's a huge amount of money. 60 times more. And this poor grandmother who has never seen this much amount of money says, give it back. It's not our money. You will get this money if it's in your faith. You will get this. This money does not belong to us, whether it is 1 or 10. We have to give it back. And the kid listened to his grandmother. And he found the lady because she was a regular, some Rose Leah. And he found her where she worked because she used to come every day. She didn't come the next day for lunch. He went looking for her, found her place of work, left a note she came to, and then they gave to her ticket back, $1 million cash. And it's an Indian normal family. And she's some worker in a factory or something. So there is God. And there's so much amount of heroism. India is a poor place, and India, like the British left a Raj with a lot of bureaucracy. So that means that for every work to be done, you need lots of signatures, just like Russia, just like maybe even like Canada, you have it. There's a lot of corruption here also. Look at the road conditions and the taxes collected. Yes, of course, a lot. You go to Montreal, I was paying around 50% taxes. And the road conditions are even worse than Toronto. And they can't say it's the weather. You go to Sweden, etc. It's not like that. So it's corruption is everywhere. And I also know of cases where in India a person started to work in the ministry and he was forced to take bribes because everyone else was afraid of him, that this guy will become the whistleblower. So the system made him take bribes. Okay. But once in a while, even in the direst poverty, you will have a principled person, including government of India, Canadian government, everywhere. There are a couple of people who cannot be bought, no matter what. Even if a God would come and say, I want you to sign this corrupt document, etc., or take this bribe for me, they won't. That's the force of spirituality in them. So these are the people that we have to focus on. The world is going slightly mad. It's just like the Roman times or whatever. I was reading that Some people are getting their are ordering plastic surgery operations for their dogs, cosmetic operations for their dogs. And people have even started doing it for their kids so that the kids look like designer kids or something like that. So there are those trends, which is like madness because people are identifying with the physical outlook too much. So in these times, it's super important that us, the people who, for whatever reason, however, we have this spirituality as a sometimes as a seed, sometimes as it's sprouting, sometimes as a tree, whatever you want to see it as. It's yours. It's yours. And you flower it with our meditations, etc. And the sprouting means that your heart opens and you see everything powered by the same creator, and then you don't have any judgment, just like the left hand doesn't have any judgment on the right hand, etc. Even though the right hand does everything opposite to the left hand, you see everything connected through the power of this. And then you, even if you have depression, spirituality will make you see the infinity, that there is something good that is going to be coming out of this separation. And you start to create the contrast of being spiritual by when the whole world is in this regime of taking. I only have this body. I only have one life. I have to take love, take money, take anything to give me an advantage. You become totally spiritual and you, yeah, take this, take that. These are my things. You want them, you want my, the least you can give is a smile from you. You can also give attention. There are suicide lines for people who are feeling so isolated that even if they were to talk to someone, then they can be saved. So there are suicide lines where people just talk. So what is it that they're getting them? Attention. Because most of the people are putting focus only and are prisoners of just this, their cell phone or whatever. That's where their all their attention has gone. So you become the givers of joy to others. And once you become the givers of joy to others, there's no way that depression can touch you. You are a source of joy for others. So joy will automatically, once you find that you yourself, your soul at its very core, someone wants to come now. Your soul at its very core is love. Then you stop looking for it. And there are, of course, there are times when this being spiritual is difficult, but there is no other option for it. If you would focus on making money, money does not make you happy. It doesn't even give you security. Make enough and spend enough, the amount that you can make honestly. Yesterday, a lady asked me, "Oh, my partner is making doesn't want to make any more money, and he or she wants to have enlightenment and not do anything on the planet." And those are the person wants enlightenment. They say, you have a daughter, you have a he has you. The person has to be taking care of his responsibilities. That is what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is not closing your eyes and going into a meditation trance or whatever, and just not and just looking for happiness for yourself. Enlightenment is being a source of joy for others. In terms of someone had sent me an email about Buddha. So yes, you are a source of love and laughter for others. And you can even, I was 2 months, I was in a, living in an isolated room. and my only talk about communication with the world was digital. I think I didn't really suffer anything. I didn't have a depression, etc. But I did miss sex with respect. So sometimes even depression is going to be coming out of various factors. So if you connect with someone, then that will help. But if you're not able to connect with someone, then there's something wrong with you. You have to see the other person as having the same creator and and, and powered by the same energy that powers, the same energy that is making me move my lips is enabling you to hear. And I'm here, you are there. We are separated by time and space and by this digital connectivity. But in reality, we are all connected by time and space. We are on the same time. We're living on the planet at the same time, more or less. We are connected by the earth. And of course, these digital waves are just invisible waves of vibrations connecting. But our hearts are connected and they're on the same wavelength. So we have to take this knowledge that we are part of the infinity, everyone else is part of the infinity, and then our judgment that this is good and this is bad goes down. And when we don't have a judgment on good and bad, then we are able to open our eyes, because when we are working with this good and bad judgments based on whatever we saw or perceive, our minds are working. The more our minds are work, the less we will see God. You will come up with some sort of a logic saying, oh, but if God was there, at the end of it, it will say, if God was there, then I will be having more sex, I'll be having more love, I'll be having more respect, I'll be having more money. Why? Because I deserve it. That's all that the logic will be. But in reality, there is a logic, there's a framework, there's a reason. And the reason most of the times that is playing out in this life is from the past life. However, the past doesn't impact us beyond a certain point. When we are born, we have a certain body, we have certain relationships, parents, things that we cannot change. So that's our karma. The things with, once we are born with this, you are an apple, I am a lemon. I cannot change my beginning. I cannot tomorrow become European. I'm an Indian. So there are parts of us which cannot change. But what sort of an apple are you going to be? The best apple. What sort of a lemon are you going to be? The best lemon. What sort of an orange you are? The best orange. Bringing joy to others, because that's juiciness of yours will be having a different flavor. But the main thing is to serve. So when we are attacked or when we are blessed by a depression, and it can even be physical, as I said, like I'm very, very primitive. So I was out there for 2 months. I did feel, yes, there is a sadness attached to not being able to connect with anyone on a physical, with love and respect, aka also known as good sex. Didn't have it, so c'est la vie. But everyone has their own flavor. I'm hooked with this thing. Someone may be saying, oh, for the last 2 years, I haven't traveled. Someone might be saying, I haven't heard this person say to me, I love you truly. Or someone might say, I haven't bought a new dress. Whatever your hook is, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anything that you feel from outside of you will enable you to be happy is an illusion. This is a grown class, so I'll once more repeat. Even when you have sex with a person that your eyes, etc., find appealing, but for the other person, it might be just as this person looks like nobody. And we think that our orgasm, that joy of happiness, let's say of the physical pleasure, is from the other person. No, it's from a place deep inside ourselves. We just think that it is because of the other person. We give to the other person this. What we see of the other person with our eyes is just a bag of blood with various organs, 9 holes, and out of every hole comes out something which we cannot really love. So in reality, when love is happening, it's at a level of heart to heart. And the more our mind is working, the less our heart is working, because our mind only sees in pragmatical terms, it only sees practical things. And practicality means if I do this, if I act like this, I can manipulate the situation to have more money or more respect from the eyes of the other. That's all that manipulation works with. But the heart is smiling, and by default, the heart is loving. That's the nature of the heart. Giving love, giving love, giving love. So when that heart is not working, then that depression is happening, because we have this feeling, I was born on this planet to give, and here I've become a taker of everything. I take attention. I want more of this. I'm never happy with what I have. I'm always afraid that I've lose this. I have these fears and I have this anger. I want more. You see something, you want something, you judge it to be good and bad, you want something, and then you are unsatisfied and you're angry, and then always after anger it becomes fear. And your whole body, internal universe, most of the time, even if you say to someone, smile from your heart, they can't do it. How? I ask some people, you're depressed, so smile from your heart. They can't do it. So I try to tell them the mantra, and sometimes even people in this group will sometimes say, I don't believe in a bearded father, so I'm not going to do Our Father in Heaven. Hello. Some lady yesterday called me and depressed, and I said, can you pray? Can I use my own words? I said, yes, you can, but for the first 21 days, use the classical prayers, because our anger at our own parents get reflected as anger at a father figure or a mother figure, and we don't do the classical religious steps. We want to be doing something holistic. The Christians want to be using Om, the Om guys, you want to be using something else, and people are, but go first with the classical prayer. First stage, till the time that you are able to. So to work with depression, use the classical prayers. The lady who said that they couldn't do the classical prayers, they were not able to work with their depression and the mood swings. And once you start working with the classical, the spirits of our forefathers or angels as our forefathers will start to click in. And we will make them click even right now. We'll make them click right now. So closing eyes, focusing in the center of the forehead, drawing a cross, so that your intellect takes the form of the cross and the attributes of the cross, the ability to shine love. Jesus was not a millionaire, billionaire. He died on the cross, a horrible death. But he represents the extreme act of giving up the human body. So by focusing on the cross, these attributes and these abilities to give love unconditionally are activated in you. That is the intent. And once the cross, the Om, the spiral of infinity, or the Star of David is present in the center of our thinking processes, then our thinking processes fall down, and then the heart blossoms up. The heart opens up like a temple of joy. Pure golden light flowing out from our heart to all directions, filling the whole universe. The whole universe is our physical body, and they counter mirror each other. Your universe is full of love, and the universe that we are co-creators also is also full of love. We are inside our universe, and the universe is inside us. It's mutual. And by filling your own universe, you're filling everyone. So in our golden light, we bless everyone unconditionally. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Use the classical prayers. The name of God, Allah, Allah, Allah. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on heaven as in earth. On this day give us our daily bread and forgive us trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us from temptation. Deliver us from evil. Thine is the power, the glory, the kingdom. Очень нас, ясен на небесах, да прославится имя Твое, да пребудет царство, да исполнится воля Твоя, на небе и на земле. Дай нам хлеб насущный, и прости нам наши долги, яко мы прощаем должникам нашим. Веди нас от искушения. Each one of us call out to your grandmother or grandfather who has passed away, or to your uncle, and ask for the blessing of clarity. So the people who have crossed over, they already know that life is infinite. They already know that. So ask them to share with you, those who have crossed over and who are dear to you. Ask them in this stage, when your heart is open, be confident. Do not see yourself as oh, I am just this person with this age and with this name and this life. See yourself as eternal, infinite consciousness. And then in this infinity of consciousness, reach across to your dear and loved ones whose blessings you seek, and ask for the blessing so that they can share with you their knowledge, their wisdom, their clarity of the infinity of life, that the body is just a means of transport. The spirit is eternal, infinite, and pure love in its character. Eternal, infinite, and pure love. Satchidanand it's called. So ask your angel spirits of your dear and loved ones. Third time I'm asking you. Do not see yourself as a I with this body, with this age, with this name, with this life. See yourself as a smiling golden heart showering the whole universe with pure love. Asking for the knowledge that will take you beyond happiness and sadness, so that you are equanimous. You are seeing love in all the gammas of the universe. The universe is a huge picture of various colors, and in the picture, God himself has signed his name on everything that has been created. Just like in your imagination, the world that you create is powered by you, and everything is equally powered by the same thought energy, the same way the universe is powering everything, seen and unseen, good and bad. The contrast that you see is just for the joy of contrast. See from your heart, not from the mind. Love, infinity, eternity. Love, infinity, eternity. The magic words are Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. See yourself as a golden eternal light, asking for the blessings of your angel ones. Ask and receive their blessings flowing from the crown of the head. Om. Feel the blessings of the angels making you an angel, a giver of love. That's what an angel is. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Let the rain of blessing energy flowing from the crown of the head change your thinking so that from tomorrow your outlook is totally not a taker but a giver of joy, love, laughter to everyone. No matter what happens in life, even if you have depression, enjoy your depression because it means you're alive and have the ability to give joy to others. Om Namah Shivaya. Bless yourself. See yourself very concretely from tomorrow with a golden headed energy inside your head, your heart fully open, a reborn, a new you, which is able to see good in everything, who is able to use the joy, the depression, all the moods of your life equally to bless others, no matter what happens on this planet, no matter what happens to your body, no matter what happens in your life. You are going to be totally having the power to open heart and send blessings to everything and everyone, especially to people who have hurt you or who have listened you. Om Namah Shivaya. You are going to be a spiritual warrior with the blessings of your loved ones, with the blessings of the angels. You are becoming an angel. You're getting the power to have an open heart, no matter what happens in life, because it's all material world. No matter what happens with anyone, it's all happening at a material level. You have the power to send blessings and receiving blessings from the angels. Om, let it come down to your brain cells so that your brain cells, your outlook on life changes. You become an eternal, infinite source of joy for others. No matter in what form you give, a smile from your heart, a prayer, a blessing, just wish to others. May you have a wonderful life and not care about your own life. Jesus didn't have a wonderful life. Mother Teresa didn't have a, Saint Francis didn't have a wonderful life. Why should you? Because they didn't care for it. When you don't care for the physical, material, wonderful life, you are in total acknowledgement and aware of the wonderful power of love, which you don't need because you don't even have it, because you are. You are a zillionaire who was thinking that you need a few dollars on this planet. Nothing. You are a zillionaire. You are a spirit. You are a zillionaire. Not even a Even billionaires are now looking like poor people for you. Anyone whose heart is not open spiritually is poor. You bless them all. Om Namah Shivaya. Have gratitude to your angels. Om Namah. Offer to them Om Namah Shivaya. Offer to them a smile from your heart. Offer to them your blessings. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. as one consciousness, as one consciousness. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. As one consciousness, see Jean and send to her blessings, and she sends blessings. Om Namah Shivaya. Ameen. Allah. In all cultures across time and space. Send blessings to Jean and she sends blessings. And she accepts the blessings of her angels and her masters, if she wants to call them. Changing her personality so that she has no more fear and becomes a giver of joy. Om Namah Shivaya. Galia has got her grandfather. She accepts his blessings and angels and becomes even more of a giver. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. She also has got grandfather and grandmother, both ancestors. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Either has grandmother, very close grandmother, very loving, blessing her. Accepting the blessings of those who are close to us. Sometimes it is should have been close to us, because in the spirit world they want to give us even more. Accept their love and change your personality so that you become an angel. Om Namah Shivaya. We're grandfather, very, very strict. Om Namah Shivaya. But now is very soft. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Preeti Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Grandmother's blessings. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Malina also grandmother. Grandfather is sort of disconnected. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Aksana Babushka. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Zarina dead. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Grandmother is still on here, so we are asking for angels. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Natasha dead. Uncle. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Lena Babushka. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Lena Dedushka. Dead. Visoki Strovi Lena. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Marina Tets. Yevo Preti. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. All grandmother from mother side. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. See them as angels and see their blessings coming down as golden light. See them as angels in your mind's eye, rather in your heart's eye. Mind is where the pictures come up, but it is the heart which sees. See them as angels and promise to be like angels from right now. Receive the blessings. Only by their blessings and by your acceptance can your outlook on life, which is based on your way of thinking, which is in your head. So accept the blessings flowing from the top, from the crown of the head. See the whole head becoming golden so that your heart fully opens. And once your potential of an open heart is fully realized, then your depression truly goes away, because no matter what happens, you have realized your potential on this planet with an open heart. Receive. Think of your angels and loved ones. And when I say Om, receive it from the crown of the head. Om. Slowly going down to your heart. Namo. Opening your heart like a huge flower so that your whole universe, your whole body, your whole universe is a church of joy, is a temple of love. full of golden and blue and pink light in some cases. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Good. See yourself as an angel from this very second. Have trust, have full trust. You will receive. When the heart is open, we can go to different, we are not locked by this body, we can go to different places, and those places are real time, and we have invoked the blessings of the universe via our loved ones and angels. So within the next 3 days you will have sleep. In sleep they will come, they did come right now in sleep, and you will have the chance to become more and more fearless in giving. And once you are more fearless, there is no depression. Okay, so take care, and if you have any questions, ask them right now. These are very difficult meditations. When we have to get to a point where we have to open our heart and bless ourselves to change our outlook, etc., and have to be very repetitive, because we have to get to a point where our heart is totally open, accepting, and understanding that we shouldn't be identified with the body. The body and the things are just toys. Look at this family, they gave out $1 million back to the original owner, and he's just a boy. So there is a lot of love, inspiration, and beauty in everyday life around us. But these are COVID times. We are always, oh, this person died, that person died, this thing. Our minds need inspiration, but the true inspiration, there is a lot of inspiration around us. Om Namah Shivaya. And we should be inspiring for others as well as for ourselves. We should be inspiring for others as well as for ourselves. Om Namah Shivaya. Tomorrow